GITV Football Forecast Show. I'm here with Buster Crumpton. My name is Chuck Wegman. I'll be your host today. And Buster, here we are a year later after finishing up down at Northside Warner Robins in the playoffs last year at Clarke Central. Getting ready to scrimmage tomorrow night against North Oconee.
Yeah, a year. It's gone. We're right back here. GITV's bigger than ever. Clarke Central football's going stronger than ever. And you remember last year what I did? It ain't the air conditioning, Chuck. It's the goosebumps.
There you go.
Time of year.
Well, Buster, let's get right into it. We don't have a lot to go today. Of course, next week after the scrimmage, we'll have more to talk about. But the big thing here with Clarke Central High School and GITV, new region alignment. And the Gladiators are going from 4A up to 5A. Now that the state of Georgia is going to 6 classifications. Of course, we lost a few members. We lost Habersham Central, lost Rockdale County, and we lost Madison County. Madison County drops down to 4A, or stays at 4A, and of course Rockdale County and Habersham both move up to 6A.
Right.
And of course we bring in a new member and a perennial giant in 3A football. Yeah, but they've moved up now to 5A in the Gainesville Red Elephants.
And they're still getting a lot of respect around the state from people that know a little thing or two about high school football. Just because they moved up, they're not thinking that Gainesville, that big Red Elephant machine, is going to slow down one bit. That's going to be a challenge. And that might be Coach Riles, as if he didn't have it hard enough with Flowery Branch already in the region and Loganville and some of them other guys. But now you got to figure out where to play Gainesville.
Well, yeah, you look at 8-5A, and you add the likes of Gainesville, of course, along with Flowery Branch, Appalachia, Loganville, Salem, Heritage, Cedar Shoals, Winder Barrow, and Clarke Central. It has become, in 5A, one of the powers in the state of Georgia.
I think maybe one of the toughest regions. It could rank right up there with, is it Region 1 or 2 that's got Northside, Warner Robins, and all them guys, Ware County. It's a tough region, and it's like the SEC. Every week it's almost a must-win. You're going to chop each other up. It's going to be physical. And we saw that last year come into play as when Clarke and Flowery Branch met at the end of the season. That was 2 teams running on hard.
Well, you always have a representative in the Final Four, if not the Final 2.
Right.
From this region, we have in the past, and one year we had 3.
Exactly.
So
3 out of the Final 4, I think, if I remember right, because we played Rockdale that year when we went to the Dome. This is going to be a challenge, and it's going to stay this way through this year and next year. They don't change them until every 2 years when they get the population counts in and stuff on the schools. So, hey, it is what it is. Welcome to 5A football. And I'm still getting used to saying that. I keep wanting to say quad A, but it's 5A now. And hey, let the games begin. I can't wait for it to get started.
Let's get in, and I'm gonna run through, and we'll get your take on some of these ball games or some of these teams in the top 20 preseason rankings. Of course, led off. I'm going to go through 1 through 5 here. Okay. Number 1, Tucker. Number 2, Northside Warner Robins. Number 3, ML King. Number 4, Stevenson. And number 5, Kell. Now, there's some schools that were 5A last year that are now, or stayed 5A, did not move up to 6A, but there were not teams that we normally see year in, year out.
And there's a lot of 4A teams in that first top 5 there that moved up to 5A, and they're still getting the respect from the posters.
Yeah, Tucker and Northside Warner Robins, of course.
Yeah, man, the way that game ended last year to see who was going to go to the Dome when Tucker recovered a fumble on their own 1-yard line, returned it 99 yards for a touchdown to get them in there. But 2, you could swap those 2 top teams either way, Northside and Tucker. Northside last year, personally, one of the biggest high school teams I ever saw.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Anyway, the very tough top 5. Kell as well over there in that region with East Paulding and all them guys.
And Stevenson, year in, year out, has 9-10 kids going to Division I out of that program.
Exactly.
Every year. I mean, the Division I schools are robbing that coffer every year, every single year. Then we're going to go through 6 through 10. Number 6, Warner Robins. Number 7, East Paulding. Number 8, Flowery Branch. Number 9, Gainesville. And number 10, Thomas County Central. Of course, 2 of those teams right there that we just listed are in our region.
And that's exactly what we're talking about this region being so tough. 2 teams that, and I'm telling you what, depending on what happens in those teams above them, those 2 teams could be in the top 5 before the year's over. Gainesville and Flowery Branch, but they've got to play each other.
Well, I was expecting Flowery Branch to be in that 3 or 4 spot to begin with anyways.
Right.
And you see where they've fallen. And that ball club is returning all kinds of talent.
Yeah, Flowery Branch is just a machine, and they don't rebuild, they reload. Pretty much the same thing with Gainesville. And
East Paulding is another.
Yeah,
is
and
another
I mean,
group
when you say not being surprised about Flowery Branch being up there, look who's in front of them. You can't really argue.
No,
so
no doubt about it.
Tough.
And Warner Robins, you know, I think there are only 2 losses last year. Well, no, 2 of their 3 losses, I guess now. No, only 2 of their losses. Northside Warner Robins was one of their defeats, and of course, they had a tremendous year and almost made it to the championship.
Oh, yeah.
Then we're going to go to 11 through 15, and once again, Clarke Central's listed at 11. Of course, another team out of this same region, of course, our region, and the Ware County Gators. I mean, we hear that name every year. Pope High School over in
Northwest Atlanta.
Yeah. And then Southwest DeKalb, another perennial power in 4A for years. Of course, moving up to 5A, and then Whitewater, who has had really come on strong over in Coweta County, not Coweta County, but in that area, around the Noonan area, just been having tremendous years.
Well, just 2 years ago, Whitewater went down to Northside Warner Robins and put those guys out the first round.
That's correct.
So there you go.
Yeah.
A lot more good teams. Any of those teams with a break here and there, they'll be in your top 10, even in your top 5.
And of course, Clarke Central coming in with the reputation to get that number 11 ranking. We're a little young this year. We're going to have to see the kids are going to have to really play good football to maintain that ranking.
Right, but that again, a statement. I think the posters are saying on what Riles has done with this program over the last 6 years.
No doubt.
You think?
No doubt.
And I think it's deservedly so that Clarke Central's where they're at.
And then we're going to go 16 through 20, and of course Northgate. That's that Coweta school that opened up about 5 or 6 years ago, and they've been playing tremendous football the last few years. Number 17, Bainbridge. Number 18, Altoona. Number 19, Heritage, another 5A school from our region. And, of course, rounding out the top 20, Sprayberry. And that is 20 awful good ball clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 names that you hear year in, year out.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of juggling, a lot of crap, because so many of these teams play each other in their regular season. So, I mean, nobody can stay undefeated forever. You know, and Clarke Central's just like Flowery Branch and Gainesville. They've all got to play each other. And what was it last year? The impossible, a 3-way tie for the region championship.
No doubt.
Might be sizing up for something like that again this year.
And that goes back to Coach Riles did he and his staff did a great job losing in week 2 to Heritage and then keeping those kids focused on what the prize was.
Right.
And to come out with a split for the region championship, tremendous. Of course, talking about some of the games that scrimmage games this past weekend.
Yeah, a lot of our region played last Friday, and we got some scores. We got 2 games coming up this weekend. Of course, North Oconee coming here to play us here at Clarke Central, be here in Stave, and then Laster traveling to Flowery Branch. But look at some of these scores, Chuck, of the teams in our region that played last week. There's a few eyebrows raisers there for
Cedar
me.
Shoals was able to put 42 points up against Oconee County, 42 to 21, and Elbert County playing Appalachia. Elbert County 28, Appalachia 17. Elbert County's a really good ball club.
But the deceiving thing with that score, I heard reports that Appalachia was actually leading that game. I think they said 14-7 at half, and they pulled all the guys out, the starters. So you never know, but still, Elbert County, don't take the hats off.
No doubt. And then Gainesville, of course, throwing up 39 points against Creekview, and Creekview is no slouch of an opponent either.
No, they got a good quarterback at Gainesville. The kids already signed with Clemson and look forward to seeing him this year. They said he is the real deal.
And rounding out the other scores that we had, South Forsyth 28, Winderbarrow 14. Winderbarrow coming in this year with a new coach, but there's some talent.
Winderbarrow actually led that game 14-0 in the third quarter, and then just they let it slip away at the end. And maybe they're starting to get back on track, but they got a little bit to prove. You know, the last 2 years have been brutal for that Winderbarrow program.
And then, of course, Heritage puts up 37 points against Eastside, 37-21. And that Heritage club is a good ball club that we faced. And we had down 14-0 last year and ended up losing that ball game 21-14.
Yeah, Heritage, they're an offensive machine. When they get those guys, those running backs of theirs going, they're a hard team to stop. And Eastside, I think, must have done an incredible job. Heritage was known for their defense last year, but they put 3 touchdowns up on them. So, you know, we're all going through some changes. I know we mentioned earlier Clarke Central's young, trying to, you know, fill some shoes that from graduation last year that we got some key positions. We got to get some guys to step up. But I'm sure the other schools going through
that. Well,
and
you know, everybody in that scrimmage too. I mean, even Coach Riles said there was 3 or 4 defensive players that he held out last week, and has the intention of holding out a few players this week. I know some key spots that we're looking forward to seeing that kids aren't going to see action, just to hold them out. Maybe a little nagging injury, maybe the heat,
right.
whatever reason it is. But you know, Coach Riles alluded earlier that he was going to hold out some people tomorrow night.
You can't blame him with Marist right around the corner.
No doubt. I mean, you got a power like Marist coming into week 1. That's quite an opening, of course. And we know that Flowery Branch is traveling, they're at home against Northside Warner Robins. Yeah. So right off the bat, number 2 is taking on number 8. First week of the season. So it ought to be interesting.
Crazy.
And it's amazing that we don't see Marist in that top 20.
Yeah, and I think that's because they're still in 4A. You know, they play. They're technically a AA school with their population, but they decided to stay in 4A. I think it was a good move on them. They'll have plenty of competition on that 4A level, but hey, Marist can play with anybody. They're just like Buford and everybody else. They can play with anybody.
No doubt about it. Well, let's talk about tomorrow night. Of course, August 23rd, 7 o'clock start, and we're going to be live on the waves here at Clarke Central, GITV.com. If you'll check out the website, we're going to try to get on the air about 6:45, I think it is, tomorrow night. And North Oconee Titans come to Billy Henderson Stadium in Athens for the first time ever.
Right, and North Oconee coming off their best season ever from last year. They had a great run. And you're talking about run, K1 Bryant. I don't know if it's Kawan or K1, but it's Kawon. You're going to see a lot of that young man tomorrow night. The guy's just a sophomore, and he's already got D1 schools drooling.
And their quarterback, Colvin, is quite an athlete, and he led the team last year with quite a few yards and very quick.
Right.
Very quick team.
Yeah, North Oconee, I think they're getting there. Where a lot of, you know, how old was that school? 7, 8 years maybe? I can't remember.
Maybe.
But got there quick. Got to where most schools want to get, and they got there real quick, and it's just a hats off to that program.
Well, Coach Tooley does a wonderful job over there with the North Oconee Titans, and he's put together a dang good staff over there, as Coach Riles has here, and it's a testament to the area. I mean, you've got some fine schools in this area in all ranges of classifications.
Prince Avenue, Athens Academy, Athens Christian, now with Brooks over there. And I mean, you're right. You can go on any level of high school football in this one little bitty tiniest county in the state and find just about any kind of great football you want.
No doubt about it. And of course, North Oconee coming in with a good defense. Of course, they won the region last year in AA and now move up to AAA.
Mm-hmm.
But they got to be odds-on favorites in that 8-3A.
Oh, I would think so. And especially with the running back, Bryant, and the quarterback you just mentioned, I think they are probably early favorites.
No doubt about it. And, of course, one of the interesting things for North Oconee, never really had a regular season game with Oconee County, and now they're both in the same region. I wonder how that's going to play out.
Does that, and the rumors I'm hearing, North Oconee, they hate that school so much out there. Their rivals, Oconee, they're wanting to look into taking that color blue out of their uniform. So I mean, there you go. That's getting pretty heated right now.
Well, you've got to love the rivalries of high school football as in college, and as you know, the Clarke Central Cedar Shoals rivalry. The Commerce Jefferson rivalry, the North Oconee County rivalry is just as big.
Yeah, them guys don't like each other.
And that's all good fun and clean fun, and
it's pretty much Highway 53. Are you on the north side or the south side?
And that's what makes it fun each and every week. Of course, we want to remind everybody also the Coach Ward has started the Gladiator 100 for 100 Club, and of course, he's looking for 100 past members or participants in the Clarke Central football program to join the 100 for 100 program. It's doing a lot of great things. Some great names go back through the days.
Chuck Smith, Derek Dooley, Dante Robinson, and then recently, you got Alan Posey and Alex Harris and now Quinshon up there at the University of Tennessee. It just goes on and on and on. And the 100 for 100 Club, that's what's making stuff like this happen. GITV.
No doubt about it.
Our weight room that they've just expanded over the summer. It goes to making this a competitive program. And you just can't do it with school funds anymore. You got to get that little extra.
And you look at the talent and the depth that Clarke Central has had in the past, and the guys that are in the NFL, Horace King and Willie Green, Chuck Smith, John Casey,
still playing,
Dante Robinson. The names go on.
Right.
Talent-rich program, Clarke Central in the past, and of course we invite anybody to the Clarke Central Gladiator 100 for 100 Club, and you can go onto the website. We'll have a link on there at ClarkeCentralGITV.com. And, of course, you can always contact Athletic Director Dr. John Ward right here at Clarke Central High School for any further information.
Yeah, it's set up real good at ClarkeCentralGITV.com, a webpage specifically for that 100 for 100 Club members where they've got their name, their position, their year that they played, all on one page of the contributors that have given to this program. So it's real nice.
And the Clarke Central GITV website also, you can check out soccer, football, basketball, baseball. You can go on and look at pictures of past players that have gone on from each sport to play in college and the NFL. You'll be able to catch some pictures of this year's games as we go through.
And don't forget the blogs, you and Holly.
That's correct. You can check out Buster's blog and
good stuff.
Chuck's take and Holly's words, I think it is.
That's it. Holly's Heroes.
Holly's Heroes and Coach Ward's
Words of Wisdom.
Words of Wisdom. So
there you go.
Check us out there at ClarkeCentralGITV.com. Of course, you can get a schedule for all the games that we're going to be televising this year. We're going to televise the C-team games right here at Clarke Central. We're going to televise the B-team games right here at Clarke Central High School, as long as the varsity games, home and away, each and every Friday night, and of course the B-team and C-team games usually on Thursday nights. So
correct.
Check us out there at Gladiator or ClarkeCentralGITV.com and pick up the listing, and you can visit any of our sponsors also on there, and it's just a wonderful site. And for Buster Crumpton and myself, Chuck Wegman, we thank you for joining us tonight. And we can't make any of this possible without our corporate sponsors, of course, Athens Chevrolet, Bulldog Signs, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, and the Morris Center have all been great sponsors with us right here and started out with us here at GITV, and we appreciate everything that they do for us and to bringing you these ball games each and every week. So for Buster Crumpton, myself, Chuck Wegman, our technical director, Chris Crumpton, and our executive producer, Dr. John Ward, thank you, and see you next week.
All right.
whooped it.